Cats, Cops, and C4. Getting called in during an emergency is not the normal state of affairs. So as Dr. Salissa was flown over in an ambulance, she was expecting something odd. A pillar that can only be a massive axiom presence, standing unmoving and so solid it could hold up an entire spire, is still so outside her expectations that she pauses. But only for a heartbeat. But that may have been one too many. Life or death. You cannot stop or hesitate during life or death. She charges through concealing shrubbery, and the scene is even more surreal than she feared. A man is the source of the sheer willpower, forming a near-literal tower of focus. A man holding the severed torso of a teenage Erumenta. A teenage Erumenta that is now starting to panic at the very sight of her. Calm yourself. Keep calm. This woman is a doctor here to heal you. Just keep breathing, in and out, the man says. It was another Nagasha, one with 6 arms. I don't know why she did it. It was so fast, the girl says. And this one has no arms. Keep calm, child. Cenk orders the girl in the same even, calm tone. Madam Doctor, can you begin the regeneration? Okay, but this is going to be odd. It uses an enormous amount of axiom to induce a fast regeneration without a healing coma. I understand. So long as we avoid a null collapse, I am willing to accept all consequences. Heal the child, please, he says as the ice Erumenta teen breathes deeply with his aid. Dr. Salissa coils up somewhat and holds out the end of her tail with her rattle close to them. Shoka, the axiom, echoes out from the rattle and reverberates. It seems to do so little, but the doctor nods as if it had worked perfectly. Shoka, the second wave of axiom, caresses the girl and wraps around her. Shoka, the third, builds upon the second and starts to outline a lower body. Shoka, the outline finishes and the doctor nods. Shoka, 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 shoka. 5 more shakes of the rattle and a pull on the axiom that can be physically felt by everyone present. The outline fills in, solidifies, grows stronger, and then fades to reveal a thoroughly naked but thoroughly healthy lower body. Dr. Salissa slumps onto her own coils in exhaustion. That always takes it out of me, she moans as the now very thin local axiom makes it somewhat hard for her to stay awake. The natural flows of the area restores how much there is, and she rises up just in time to see Cenk pull a reflexive sheet out of a pocket in his jacket and wrapping it around the teenager's waist like a long skirt. Thank you, doctor, Cenk says with a nod. Now, child, what happened? What is your name? You don't know my name? She asks him and he shakes his head. No, but you stopped me from dying. You saved me. Yes. Why? It would be wrong not to, he answers, and she stares at him for a moment. Now I am Cenk Barnabas, an undaunted specialist on loan to and working with the local police precinct. This is Officer Linda Score, my wife and partner. Or rather, I'm her partner as she's the actual officer. I'm just the dumb monkey man backup. Now what's your name? Amy Frost, heiress of Frost Enterprises, she says. Are you? Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, young madam. Pity about the circumstances. Cenk says, now, if you're up for it, can you tell me what happened? I was just walking. I was separated from my butler, so I came here to the arranged meeting place. Then a desert Nagasha wearing a veil and holding a rifle and a sword rushed in and nearly killed me, Amy explains before she starts shivering. It's okay. That's enough. Cenk assures her, even as Linda is calling it in to be on the lookout for a veiled desert Nagasha. It's not much, but the girl is in a delicate place and right on the edge of a mental break. How'd you do that, human? Dr. Salissa asks Cenk as she finds the strength to start moving again. She rises again and looks right upwards and cracks her neck a bit. Oh, that level of healing really takes it out of a girl. Care to be clearer on that? Cenk asks. You've still got that mental fortress up. Easy to put up, hard to take down. It's going to take me all day to fully relax, Cenk says. That's one thing now. How did you keep her alive? I got dragged down the rabbit hole of a paranoid axiom adept's theory crafting and kept asking questions. It was a vaguely entertaining thing to do over a meal, and he explained that technically, if you use a mental copy and paste effect on how blood transfers oxygen into your anatomy and brain, you can use axiom to oxygenate your body, Of course, you also have to take away the residue and clean things up. I could only sustain that for an hour or so before the many other things blood does would catch up, and in other words, I'm very glad you arrived swiftly. An officer rushes into the clearing with a shock pistol ready and skids to a stop. Barnabas, score. Miss Frost, your butler's been attacked. She's recovering from her injuries but was worried about you. When did this happen? Cenk asks as his mind starts turning. She was attacked a half hour ago by a veil wearing desert Nagasha. She's lost an ear and was knocked out. That wasn't long after we were separated, Amy exclaims. Please tell me she's all right. I'll pay any money I have to. She's like a mother to me. She's fine, a little banged up and down most of her left ear, but Miss Duckett is going to survive. Oh, thank goodness. With that bit of good news, our concern has to turn back to the timing. If she was attacked by the same Nagasha shortly after the separation, and you were only attacked a minute or so ago, it can only mean that you were deliberately isolated and attacked. I thought you stumbled onto something incriminating. But if you're another target... Target? What's going on? 2 deaths, 1 attempted murder, and an assault. Tell me, does solid security insurance mean anything to you? Cenk asked. She owns it, Linda says, showing her communicator. While everyone was fixated on him and the near-literal Tower of Iron, well, that's drawing all the attention she was researching away in the background. She inherited it when her mother passed several months ago. My condolences, Amy. I'm a clone. I was going to be spare parts when the original's head was blown off and instantly killed. They woke me up, gave me a super-fast education, and this is the first chance I've ever had to go in public. I see. I'm sorry it was nearly your last. What was that? Amy asked before dashing behind Chunk, who puts an arm on her back. It's the Nagasha. She eats 2 shock pistol blasts to no effect and swings the sword. Chenk's arm snaps up and grabs her wrist with enough force that bones break even as he eats a full-powered blast of plasma to the stomach. His brand is active and it merely strips him bare even as he shields Amy from the attack. The top of his head crashes into the woman's face and she rocks back, but not before his other hand grabs her veil and rips it off. She instantly starts to seizure and collapses to the ground, foaming at the mouth. Chunk pauses, reflexively taking the monomolecular sword out of her grip and just waiting a few moments for another reaction. Doctor, is she alive? Shoka, the pulse of Axiom, reaches out and scans everyone. She's entered a coma and you seem to have taken a frenzy patch. Adrenaline. It's natural for my kind, Cenk says as he holds up the veil. The clasps at the back are bloody and have small chunks of flesh on them. Tellingly, they're made of kutha and carved in symbols he can't even begin to decipher. Was it a dead man's switch to prevent capture? What is a dark suspicion rolls over him, and he quickly checks over the Nagasha to see if she has a sheath for the sword. She does not, so he plants a foot on her back and takes a moment to take his eyes off her and examine the sword itself. It's a curved thing, about 60 centimeters long, and there is an electric magnet in the hilt and a device on it. A flick of the switch and a force field sheathes the blade. Right. Okay, he says, activating both and clipping the sword onto his own belt. He then takes the plasma rifle away from the woman and sets it out of convenient lunging range. He never lets go of the veil or lets the kutha clasp touch him. He has a terrible suspicion. I need a container for this veil. If my suspicions are correct, this just got a lot more complicated. And your suspicion is? Something I'm not sure I can talk about openly. I need to talk to a lot of people in short order and likely sign a few forms before divulging anything. Where's Gabriella? I want my butler, please, Amy says, and Cenk turns to the officer that came rushing in. Well, ma'am, where's Miss Gabriella Duckett? Cenk asks. She's all right. She's asked me to bring Miss Frost to her, so... No, I'm not going anywhere alone, Amy says, grabbing onto Cenk, who makes a point of not moving. If you're willing to... Cenk begins before something makes his eyes go wide. Down now! He dives for it, knocking down Linda and the officer while taking Amy to the ground with him. Just in time for the comatose Nagasha to suddenly detonate. What the fucking... Who does that? What kind of bomb was that? Why? Chunk demands, standing up while trying to make sense of the situation. Fucking mind control veil and internal detonator on the meat puppet? The fuck is... Oh, shit. Mind control? Linda demands. I've said too much beyond the fact we need this thing in a container. He replies, holding up the veil that now everyone flinches back from. Is everything all right? Dr. Silissa asks, slithering back in. She had teleported away when Chunk had made his dive. She's got good survival instincts. Oh, goddess. The remains of the killer are not pretty, the effects of the bomb having pulped the body and made everything she wore go runny somehow. The fact that she was clearly under someone's thumb is an even more frightening concept, because this means that this was just the start of that madness. First things first is we get you back to the hospital and out of the line of fire. Amy here back with her butler, and both of them someplace safe and protected, and this fucking veil in a container. An alert pops up on a computer and is quickly read. The number is listed off and then deleted. The figure that had done both leans back in her chair and considers for a moment. Was the asset captured or killed? Either way, the insurance was in place, and in a few weeks, she would have her replacement out and ready to do all the wonderful things she does for her mistress once more. The door opens and her valet brings in a properly sized tray of delicious little treats before taking a bow and leaving without a word. Just the way she likes it. There's too much noise in the world these days. No place left for deep and thorough thinking. Data can be falsified or inaccurate. People lie, mistakes happen. But a truly deep thought and the revelations that come from them are worth more than their weight in Axiom Ride. Do you want some? She asked the presence that had appeared in her chamber. The handler was one of her most valuable resources, but all the little quirks were rather annoying to deal with at times. We have a problem? The handler states. I would assume so. You would be dropping off a mission, complete notice otherwise. She states calmly. There's little point in getting angry. It never helps. The police have intervened. They nearly captured the asset. The handler says. I see. Do they have any information? They've taken her weapons and veil, the handler says, and she turns her chair around to look at the handler. Then you will have the veil removed from their control, she says, and the handler nods. Why do you need clarification on this? You demonstrated capability beyond this before. One of the officers is an undaunted. He left his organization? She asks. No, he's on loan. The handler clarifies. I see. Tread very lightly around him. Observe him and only go for the veil when he falls asleep. And if he tries to decipher the veil's secrets, don't be paranoid. He just wanted to see our asset's face, nothing more. She replies. But if he starts to unravel the secrets, if he were an adept of that level of skill, it would be too late already. Stop dithering and go, she orders, and the handler departs. That woman really needs to calm down and remember a few things. After all, it's not like the trail leads to me after all. Then she smirks. She wonders how the handler would enjoy learning she had been long ago appointed the role of sacrifice.